Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's event. Today, we're going to be going through the launch of our new game design bootcamp. And I will be begin the actual presentation in just a minute. But before I do that, I just wanted to do a quick housekeeping note with everybody. Make sure first off that everybody can see me okay, everybody can hear me okay. Feel free to let me know in the chat off to the side, or you can interact with the emojis, give me some thumbs up. Hear and see me fine, perfect, amazing. I'll also run through the format of this platform. So in the bottom right-hand corner, everyone will see the chat log. You'll see the questions tab, and you will see the polls tab. We have published 3 polls, or we will be, if not already, right at the beginning of this presentation. So feel free to interact with the polls throughout the presentation. The questions tab, obviously, is just for questions. You can post your questions in there. We have a Q&A slotted for the end of this presentation. So if anybody has questions, post them in there. We'll bring them up on the screen at the end and kind of go through that as a group. We'll try and get through as many as we can. We do have a very large amount of registrants here today, so we're gonna try to do our best to keep up with the questions. You can also use the chat tab and put your questions or any feedback in there. We have several team members who will be working on the back end, communicating through the chat as well and in the questions tab. So thank you. I see the note about the plants. Thank you very much. And then the last thing I like to do before I actually get into the formal presentation is see where everybody is joining us from here today. I am from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. We've had a very fire smoky last week or two, but it's finally cleared up and it's beautiful. We had a little bit of rain. Puerto Rico, Ottawa, Romania, Toronto, Charlotte, Malaysia. We've got people from everywhere: India, New York, Quebec, San Francisco. I was just in San Francisco a couple months ago. Loved it. It was my first time there. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here today. We're really excited to share the information about our new course. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into the presentation and share a little bit about myself and about our company. And before we bring the speakers on stage here with me. So my name is Tyler. I've worked at CircuitStream. I've been with the company here for just about 2 years. I worked in travel and tourism for 10 plus years. COVID, kind of as it did for many people, changed my direction a little bit, and I moved into education and into technology during that time. I'm also a video game enthusiast myself. I always refer to myself as a senior Fortnite player, but that's just a little bit about me. We will also have Indy joining us here today. Indy is the instructor manager at CircuitStream, and he's going to be doing a little bit of a walkthrough of part of the actual design course to give everybody a sense of what that would look like from the course perspective. And certainly not last but not least, we'll have Ro be joining us. Roham is the enrollment advisor at CircuitStream, and I will bring him up in a little bit as well so he can go through some of the course logistics with everybody here. I'm going to start off by giving you a quick overview of who CircuitStream is. So CircuitStream our story began in 2015 when our co-founders saw a need for education and for training to empower people to build XR. If anybody's not familiar with that, that would be extended reality applications. Today, we are honored to be recognized as the industry leader in this field, offering quality education and training for those aspiring to develop and design the next generation of games and XR applications. We are partnered with industry-leading companies such as Unity, Meta, and Niantic, as well as leading educational institutions to offer courses and training to those looking to learn more about these emerging technologies. You can see some of our educational partners up on the screen there. I wanted to share some information about the gaming industry and the job market for game design skills as well. So the gaming industry as a whole has expanded significantly in recent years. In the US, over 3,000 game studios employing over 300,000 people. And in Canada, there has been a tremendous growth over the last few years with over 900 active game studios, which is a 35% increase since just 2019. Not only that, but the game industry contributed to over $5 billion in Canada's GDP, which is a 29% increase over the last 4 years. So as you can see, there's a lot of potential in this industry, and game design is a very large part of that. The game design industry is thriving like never before, with millions of passionate gamers worldwide eagerly awaiting the next groundbreaking game experience. As a game designer, you'll have the power to shape these exciting new games. The average salary for a game designer is currently sitting at $120,000 per year in both the US and in Canada. There are a range of job titles in this field, but we've added some examples such as game designer, level designer, and systems designer here for you to see. These are a few of the many companies that hire for positions we mentioned on the previous slide. Many large, well-known companies such as EA Games, Rockstar, Epic Games, they're all hiring in this space. But there's also many other smaller indie game studios. Some examples would be Cloudhead Games, Extremely OK Games, and they're hiring in this space as well. We're actually partnered with a few of these companies that you can see on the stream right now, and they are our hiring partners. So what is game design? Now that you know more about the gaming industry and opportunities for game designers, let's talk about what exactly game design is itself. So game design refers to the process of creating and developing the rules, mechanics, gameplay, and overall structure of a video game. Now you won't necessarily be creating the final designs used in a game. That would be a game artist, but your focus would be coming up with all of the concepts and the ideas. The primary goal of a game design is to create a game that is entertaining, captivating, and stimulating for players that will keep them coming back for more. A game designer is responsible for making mindful decisions about almost everything in a game. They can be thought of as the directors of a game studio, participating in the entire process of game creation, from the initial concept to the final product. Game designers also collaborate closely with programmers, artists, writers, and other teams to ensure that the game is fun, challenging, and engaging for all of the players. Some responsibilities include brainstorming game ideas, defining the gameplay experience, ensuring game balance, determining the game's creative direction, and responding to game feedback and concerns. And now, without further ado, I would like to invite Indy up on the stage to teach us a little bit more about game design and to show some examples of a game designer and how they would think. So welcome, Indy.
Welcome, Tyler. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. Can everybody hear me? Woot woot. Can you all hear me? Yeah. Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen. Just give me a couple of seconds. There you go. All right. Okay, so first of all, I have a question for you. So before coming to this session, right? Before joining this session, what did you think game design was? All right, so let's make this an interactive session. What did you think game design was? Let's pop up the chat. Let's pop it up. Can you give some definitions for game design? You know, different definitions of game design. Programming games, coding, GU and character design, backend development, determines the gameplay loop and difficulty. Oh, wow, awesome. Making the graphics, coding, all right, coding is there, overall design, you make people happy, that's amazing. Writing documents and making mechanics decisions is using the knowledge in programming, music, and art to create good interactive experience. Amazing, amazing. So it's amazing to see all of you, like, you know, blast in the chat. So let's just do this, you know, like I want to make this a little bit of an interactive session. So I'm gonna say, you know, like, as you keep on popping this chat, game design can have, you know, various different meanings. So there can be, you know, hundreds of definitions for game design. So I would say designing a game is designing some sort of an activity that has 4 components, right? So what are these 4 components? This is just one definition, right? It's my own definition, or maybe somebody else's, right? It can be. Designing an activity that has goals, challenges, interactivity, and rules, right? So when it comes to a game can have goals, challenges, interactions, and then also rules. All right, so let's, you know, just because this is an interactive session, let's just take all of those 4 main components into our mind, and let's just do a little bit of an activity. So I have my pen right here. Now you know, I'm going to draw something on my whiteboard right here. Let me just check whether my pen is working. It's working. Whoops, whoops, whoops. My bad. All right. So I'm going to draw something on my screen, and I want you to let me know what this is, right? So this is about actually a game that most of you may know, right? So rather than designing an actual game, let's just talk about a game that's already there. And it's not actually a game designer who has made this game, somebody else, right? So I'm going to draw something on screen. Let me know what this is going to be. Any ideas? I want your chat to kind of pond, trees, Quidditch, Harry Potter, balloons, Quidditch. All right, I'm going to keep on drawing this. I'm going to keep on drawing. Lake, GTA, GTA San Andreas Hood. All right, it's definitely Quidditch. Awesome, amazing. So any Potterheads out there? Any Potterheads? Stickman. All right. So I get a lot of correct answers. I get a lot of criticism answers as well. Amazing. All right, Quidditch. So as you know, right? It's not actually a game. It's a story, right? It's a story that has been to movies, games. There is a really new game that's out there called Hogwarts Legacy, right? So, all right. So claps to everybody who just predicted that this is Quidditch. Of course, this is Quidditch. It's not chess, not Pokemon. All right, it can be a little bit Pokemon, but yeah, in my mind, the idea was Quidditch, right? All right. So, let's just think about the writer who was actually writing this game, right? Writing the story, writing Harry Potter. So she had actually come up with a new game. Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy has no Quidditch. Unfortunately, I think they might give a DLC or something in the future. But yeah, let's hope for the best. All right, so let's talk about goals, challenges, interactivity, and rules. Right, I need all of these Potterheads to come up with their ideas. All right, so what is the goal? What are the goals of playing Quidditch? What is the goal of playing Quidditch? The goal: catch the snitch. Catch the snitch. Amazing. What else? Goal to get the golden ball. All right, this is the snitch. What else we have? What are these? Knockout opponents. All right. Eat the golden ball. Yeah, of course. In one of those books, Harry actually eats one of those balls, right? Avoid being knocked out. All right, so let's just say the goal is catch the snitch. And also, this is the quaffle, right? They call this the quaffle, right? So they have to, put the quaffle in those loops. Exactly, and that's how you get points, right? So all of the things that you're discussing, right? So we have the goal. The ultimate goal is to catch the snitch. I don't know why this keeps on going. There you go. All right? The ultimate goal is to catch the snitch. Now, what are the challenges, right? What are the challenges of this? Stay on the broom. Stay on the broom. What else? Oh, I saw one before. Avoid getting knocked. Avoid getting knocked. Avoid bulgers. Yes, getting knocked means bulgers. Well, goal is to, but snitch get 150 points. Yes, 150 points. Challenges are to not get knocked down and avoiding budgets. Exactly. So now, what are the rules of this? So you've been putting up all the rules right here. What are the rules? The goal is to win game by points, but the snitch get 150 points. And you have to attack the opponents using the bulger, stay on the broom. 2 teams play against each other. Not lose, obvious. That's obvious, right? Not lose is obvious. Cannot use any other magics for advantages. No magic, right? The rules. I only watched the movie, so I'm not sure. All right. Okay, that's fine. Determine numbers of players of each team. Yeah, as far as I know, there are 14 total, 7 in each team, right? Okay, so as you know, I don't know why this keeps on going back. All right, so as you know, basically the interactivity is you actually stay on a broom and then just move on, right? So what if we think about, all right, so now we have the whole structure, right? What if we want to move this to, yeah, there you go. Every player has their own role. Only one player to each team tries to catch the snitch. Exactly, right? You have to stay alive. There are two people who are actually beaters, right? Or beaters. They're beating the badger. And there are three players. There is a goalie, and there are two players who are actually passing, and that's a whole lot of rules, right? So the writer of Harry Potter actually has become a game designer, right? In a way, she has become a game designer to design a game that involves magic, flying, various different interactions, right? So this, for a moment, a writer has become a game designer, right? So the idea of a game design is actually to design a game in a way that, that fulfills these four components, right? And at the same time, they have to brainstorm different game ideas. They have to define the gameplay experience, how the gameplay experience would look like. Now, if I'm to give you a challenge to convert this whole Quidditch game into a computer game, right? What are the things that you design? How would you design the interaction? How would you switch in between the players, right? How would you, create a tutorial in a way that a player for the first time who's grabbing up their controllers, right? Who's grabbing up their controllers to play this game for the first time, what would they see? So let's just go back to these goals, challenges, interactivity, and rules. I was actually hoping this to be a surprise, but for some reason, it just kind of gave it away. So in our game design bootcamp, we are talking about the goals, challenges, interactions, rules, and we are hoping to dive a lot deeper into each of these topics in a more fundamental perspective, right? So our game design bootcamp, as you can see right here, the goals, challenges, interactions, and rules, they're just the tip of the iceberg, right? So we have 5 different modules in our game design bootcamp. And what you see here with all of these different words around this whole word graph are the learning objectives that you by taking this course that you would get to fulfill, right? Okay, so let's just say that you actually signed up and you're part of our game design bootcamp. And what do you actually get from us, right? First of all, you will be getting live sessions, right? So you have the chance to join weekly classes, 5 hours a week, and learn the fundamentals of game design, right? So unlike all these pre-recorded tutorials, click-throughs, follow-alongs, and things like that, we're not like that. You get the benefit of a dedicated person, dedicated team helping you build your skills and your portfolio in game design, right? So apart from live sessions, so what happens outside of live sessions? So this is actually a screenshot of a live office hours session that I just put it in the slides. So after your live session, you will have instructors waiting to help you out in live sessions, live office hours sessions, right? So there will be instructors sharing their their live sessions with you, so you can join in, you can have a chat with them, you can see how game design, you can talk about game design, how to develop, how to design games, and things like that with a live instructor. And on top of that, we have on-demand support. So currently, we have a community which is in Discord, and on top of that, you'll get live one-to-one sessions where you can there's nobody else, and you can have a one-to-one chat with an expert instructor to learn game design in all of these aspects of game design. On top of that, you'll get things like assignment feedback, research support. If you want to build your own portfolio of your own game designs, there are instructors who are available to mentor you, to help you out to reach those heights, right? So if you have, if you want to have a chat with an instructor, you have a platform where you can just chat with an instructor, and an instructor is available for you as a one-on-one live session, right? All right, so to talk about the outcomes of our game design bootcamp and career development opportunities, I would like to hand this over back to Tyler. Tyler.
Hello. Thank you so much, Indy. That was amazing. So I'm just getting my my camera set back up here. So yes, thank you so much, Indy. That was amazing going through the concepts. I'm sure that gives everybody a much better idea of what the course will look like, or at least a portion of it there with the live demo. So what I'm going to do here is provide a little bit more information about some of the information that you would learn in the course. I did see a note earlier that I was speaking or moving a little bit quickly, so I'm going to do my best to slow down just a little bit here for everyone. But I do want to mention that this entire event, I see Zoe just mentioned in the chat as well, but this entire event will be recorded for everybody who's registered. So if I speak too quickly, or if you just miss anything, if the phone rings and you miss a portion, you will get a full recording of this event here today. So yeah, you'll get all the information, no problem, Lucas. So let's go into a little bit of the course info. This bootcamp is designed for those who want to enter the gaming industry as a designer, those who want to establish their own company, or those who are looking to utilize game design skills within their current roles. The great thing about this bootcamp is that it is project-based. So you'll gain practical skills while working in real-world projects. Over the course of 30 weeks, you'll learn to analyze game design elements, you'll conceive gameplay concepts, design game mechanics, create functioning game prototypes, and test novel gameplay ideas. You'll also learn about the role of a game designer and its various specializations and how they fit into overall video game production. Besides learning all of the practical skills to become a game designer, this bootcamp also comes with career support and with guidance. In the career labs, you'll learn to leverage your technical and behavioral strengths. You'll create compelling portfolios, elevate your digital presence, learn how to network effectively, and become interview ready for industry jobs. Our career and networking support really sets this course apart from others that you may find. Every student has different objectives coming in, but those who are really looking for a new job or looking to improve their current position really find this aspect of the course incredibly helpful. Towards the end of the bootcamp, you'll come up with your own game idea and turn it into a tested prototype in the Unreal Engine. The aim of this project is to show your readiness for an entry-level job or to spearhead a new game project as an industry leader. You'll then have the opportunity to present your creation at Pitch Day to our industry and hiring partners. It's a great opportunity to expand your professional network, to be considered for any new job openings, and receive feedback on your project and get some support. Some of our partners that may attend and just attended our previously one here was Bungie, Goodbye World Games, Udity, Niantic, Inflection Games. We've got many more, but those are just some of the partners who were at the previous pitch day here. So these are some of the tools you would be using in the bootcamp. Just note that we are constantly updating our courses to ensure that they are the most up-to-date with the industry standards. So the tools you see here may be the same depending on when you take the course. They may update, they may change over time. One tool I do want to highlight is the Unreal Engine. If you already know a bit about gaming, you've likely heard about Unreal. A lot of well-known AAA games are created using this software, such as Fortnite, Gears of War, Street Fighter V, many more. This is the reason that we chose to use Unreal Engine as the prototyping tool in this course specifically. Adding experience in Unreal to your resume will be a great way to set you apart from the competition in the game design industry. Once you complete the course, you would have a portfolio of projects to demonstrate your new skills, and you can show those off to potential employers. You'll also receive a digital badge that you can add to your resume, you can add to your LinkedIn profile page, and you can show your completion of the course. And last but not least, by enrolling in this course, you'll get access to our private Circuit Stream community on Discord. We currently have over 1,200 members. The community is a great place to network, to ask questions, to get assistance on projects, to collaborate with other people, just have conversations with like-minded individuals. Many of our students have found jobs through this community, and a lot have also ended up working together to start new companies or to create new games. We have a bunch of our previous bootcamp students working together, and I believe a few of the games they've created are being submitted to Steam in the next several months here. So the best part is that you can continue to be a part of this community even after the course has ended. So once you've graduated, we encourage you to stay, to network, and to continue to work with everybody else who goes through the course as well. And now I'm going to invite Roham up on the stage. I mentioned him at the beginning of the presentation. He goes by Ro, so I'll call him Ro from here on forward, but Ro will walk you through some of the logistics of the course. So Welcome, Ro.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to make sure before I start, can everyone hear me and see me okay as well? If we can get some thumbs up. Perfect. Well, thanks a lot, Tyler and Indy, for the great presentation so far. Yeah, so hi, everyone. As Tyler mentioned, my name is Ro. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the logistics of the course. So, as Indy mentioned, this boot camp is 30 weeks long and it consists of 5 hours of live online instruction per week through video conference, as well as a 2.5 hour lab every second week. We usually suggest roughly around 10 hours of independent study on top of the classes and the labs as well. And a great thing to note is that all of these live sessions are recorded and sent to students. I know we got a few questions in the chat about, what if you miss a session? That's no big deal. You will have lifetime access to all of the class recordings. We also offer daily office hours where students can drop in and ask any questions they have, as Indy showed in his portion of the presentation. Now, a great perk is that our student alumni get lifetime access to the again, class recordings, materials, as well as the office hours. So even after you finish your boot camp, we will still be there to support you along your journey. Um, Now, if we can go to the next slide, one of the benefits of taking a course with Circuit Stream or any of our partners is that we're a global company. So we offer a few different time slot options for our students around the world. And on screen, you can see some of the available time slots for this course for the upcoming cohort in October. Now, we've split them out into different time zones to make it easier to see which one will work for you. As you can see, there is a live class time slot on the top, then below are the lab times. And again, the labs occur every other week. Now, I'll take a little pause in case you guys want to take a screenshot or write down some of these times, but just a reminder, we will be sending all of you guys the recording of this session in case you want to go back and look at any of the portions that we covered today. Perfect. I think we should be good to move on to the exciting part. Now, I see in the chat everyone's asking how much is this course. So I have some good news for everyone. We have a very special offer for you, all of you live attendees today. Normally, this boot camp costs $14,995. But as an attendee of this launch event, you're going to save 15% off the course. And if you apply before June 8th, you will get to choose one of our 10-week XR courses, whether it's the XR Development with Unity program or the Interaction Design and Prototyping for XR program for free. Those courses normally cost $3,950. So if you take advantage of this offer, you'll be saving well over $6,000, which is an amazing offer. As far as payment plans go, we offer a few different options depending on what region you're from. We know that, it's a big amount of money, so we're more than happy to offer different financing options for our students. So for students from the United States, we partner with an external financing partner called Climb to offer monthly payments. If you're in Canada or other countries outside of the US, you can take advantage of our deferred payment plans as well. You can also choose to pay the total upfront via wire transfer or a credit card. Once you're ready to apply, our enrollment advisors, so basically myself and my team, can help answer any questions about pricing, any payment options to make sure you pick the right options for you. And, again, if any questions at all, we'd be more than happy to help out. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Now, our upcoming cohort is on October 3rd, but we do have a limited number of seats, so I would recommend applying early and chatting with one of us to ensure you secure a spot if you want to take advantage of this course and if you want to take it in the upcoming October 3rd cohort. Now, this will conclude my portion of the presentation. Thanks again, everyone. I'll hand it back to you, Tyler.
Perfect. Thank you, Ro, sharing the important information about the pricing. If anybody has any questions about the pricing or about the payment plans, Of course, just reach out to us, let us know. We can reach out and share more information for you after this presentation here today. There are payment plan options for everybody located anywhere in the world. We would just have to see which ones would apply for you there. And so now what we're going to do is that's the formal part of the presentation here today. We are going to invite both Roham and Indy, I guess, back up on stage. I know you just left, Ro, but I'm going to invite you right back up. And we're going to go through a little bit of the Q&A off on the side there. So I'm going to open the questions tab and see if I can share some of the answers up here. And between the three of us, we'll do our best to get some answers for you guys. So. Okay, let me just go in here. I guess the Game Development Bootcamp also covers game design. Here, I'll do this one for you, Indy. This is probably a good one for you to tackle.
Yeah. So the question is, I guess the Game Dev Bootcamp also covers game design. Is this one just a more concentrated version of the Game Dev Bootcamp? No. So when it comes to game design and when it comes to game development, those are like two completely different things. But a person can be a game developer and at the same time can be a game designer, right? So when it comes to game developer, we are more focused on the fundamentals of programming, 3D real-time technologies, how to optimize your games, things like that, on a more development perspective. But when it comes to design, it's more about how you design the game. Right? What are the fundamentals of design? Game design, it can be a part of game development, but it's completely different because you will be learning how to narrate. You'll be learning how to add music, right? What sort of music or audio that should be feasible in your games. Like for an example, you will be working on the you will be learning what are the things that you can do to increase the juiciness of the game. Like for example, let's just say you're working on a game and it kind of doesn't feel right. You're playing a game, you are making a game, you're playing it, and it doesn't actually feel right. So there are concepts that you need to put into your development, but those are design aspects. Like for example, camera shakes, particle effects, like those kind of things you learn from a design perspective. You are not actually learning how to do this in Unity or how to do this in Unreal Engine. You learn that there is something like this, and these are the best ways, the best practices of implementing a design. So when it comes to development, we have our Game Development Bootcamp that is separate. We focus very much on the programming principles, data structures and algorithms, things like that. But game design is you're coming from a more designer's perspective and not a high technical developer perspective.
Perfect. Awesome. I saw lots of people upvoted that. So lots of people had that same question there. I can do this one quickly. Is this course only available in 2024? I believe the first cohort actually kicks off this year in 2023 in the fall here. And then they should continue moving forward the same way that our other bootcamp runs. So we will likely have 3 cohorts in a year's time. And then I'm going to let Ro tackle this one. Ro, with the labs and live sessions and work, would you say the time commitment is approximately about 20 hours a week, over 30 weeks, or maybe you can elaborate a little bit on the time commitment there?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. I mean, to be honest, in terms of the time commitment, what we usually say is anywhere between 20 to 25 hours. It really depends on each individual as well. But 20 to 25 hours per week would be a good time to set aside for the course.
Perfect. We got some upvotes there too. Then this one I can just answer really quickly. If I don't enroll the bootcamp, I won't get the free XR course. So the course itself is not technically a free course. It is a $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 course, depending on which way you purchase it. But because you'd be purchasing the full bootcamp, we would then be including that as an added value for you. So it's not technically a free course, but we would include it in the cost of this bootcamp if you purchase that. That was another question on the time. I think we can probably skip that one because I think we just answered that. Let's go down. Is there, oh, there we go. This one's perfect. Are there any certificates available for this bootcamp? Indy, maybe I'll let you speak to that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the for the course, we have a separate module called the Capstone Project. And also every module that we have in the course is very interactive. And each module has its own set of assignments. They're not super hard. They're just working on, like, you're working, right? You're learning while working. And at the end, you have a capstone project. So we assign mentors for you in order to work on the design element of a game for the capstone project. And based on the rubrics that we have set up, we evaluate them, and based on that, you will definitely get a really good certificate.
Perfect. And then this one here, is the bootcamp self-paced? I'll let you tackle that one too, Indy.
So it is, the whole boot camp is 30 weeks, and throughout the whole 30 weeks, you have to spend time with the instructor, but all of those sessions will be recorded. So if you want to make this self-paced, you can, if you want, you can join the live sessions as well. But you can get the recorded videos of your sessions, and on top of that, you have access to the office hours and live support. Live on-demand support. So if you have any questions in terms of the content that is given in the live sessions that you watched in recordings, you can definitely reach out to our instructors and get your support.
Awesome. And I'm sure Roham would agree with this, but usually from the enrollment side, we do encourage you to attend as much of the live class as you possibly can. Lean on the recordings, a little bit more of a support system if you want to go back over information, or if you just aren't able to attend a couple of the classes because life happens. But generally speaking, everything is completely live taught and also recorded, so you have access to both of those formats. Let's see. Can I apply? Oh, this is a great question. This is going to be another one for you, Indy. I feel like a lot of these are going to be for you, but can I apply what I learned on multiple engine or is it directed only to one?
Can I apply what I learned on multiple engine, or it's directed only to one? So our courses are not, it doesn't depend on a tool actually, right? We use Unreal Engine mainly to introduce you to some of the terms and how to use Unreal Engine, a game engine, to prototype your idea. But let's just say that you have knowledge, you have experience in Unity, you have done something in Unity, and to give your game idea, what matters is that you're designing the game. You're not actually developing the game, you're designing the game. So you can design it using any tool that you are comfortable with. But as a part of the course, we teach you Unreal Engine, just because it is easy to prototype something very simple, prototype game elements using an uncoded approach. But if you have experience with any other game engine, we're happy to accommodate you, and we're happy to see what you do with that game engine.
Perfect. And I like this one too. We've already answered this one, so it won't let me share it up on the screen, but it says, is any prior knowledge needed? And can I get a job in the game design after only taking the boot camp? So I'm sure Indy, he's already answered this and said that there's no previous knowledge or experience required. I can kind of compare this similarly to our development bootcamp, which runs, basically the same. It's just focused on the coding and the development side. But no prior knowledge is needed. It is completely beginner friendly. If you do have a little bit of knowledge in the design world, the first couple of weeks might be a bit of a refresher for you in a sense, but overall it starts off paced nicely and gets a little bit more in detail as you go throughout the course. We have several students, lots of students on our development side. I can think of one off the top of my head. Monday went through our development course. Had zero prior experience in game development, in video game at all. He came from a completely different world, and now he works at Bungie, and he's an ambassador for us here at Circuit Stream. So just to give you a little bit of confidence, there's many of those stories we're happy to share. You can reach out, we can provide more information there, but you definitely don't need any prior knowledge for any of our courses here. Will there be an opportunity for networking and for hiring someone in the future? Again, I can't share this one up. I don't think it's not going to let me share because we've already answered, but by enrolling in the course, you get access to the private community. We have the community on Discord. That's where a lot of job opportunities and collaboration opportunities would come up. We also run our pitch day, which I touched on a little bit in the presentation, and that's an opportunity for you to put together your capstone projects and present them to a room full of people and hiring partners that are partnered with us here at Circuit Stream. So Just give you a little bit on that. And then, Ro, I'll let you answer this one. I can't post it again because we've already answered, but can we do this job from home or take this course from home? Go ahead, Ro, I'll let you field that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So this course, this program is completely online. It's live online instructor led, so you can take it from anywhere in the world. Basically how it works, we showed you the different time slots that we have. Before enrolling, you pick one of those time slots that works best with your schedule. That'll be your class for the duration of the program. And as long as you're online and in classes, you can be anywhere in the world. So yeah, definitely can do it online.
Perfect. And then just one of the questions here, it just says how to start game development. I just wanted to make sure that you were aware that we do also have the game development focused bootcamp. So you know, if you're more interested in the development side versus the design side, I'd probably direct you to take a look at that one. We do run info sessions on that course as well. I think we have an info session that should be on our most recent YouTube page. Feel free to check that out. But yeah, if you're more interested in the development side, we can certainly share that with you. I do apologize if anybody can hear the siren in the background of my speaker right now. I'm going to go back to the top of this list and see. Can this course be completed using a Mac or is a PC required? I'll let you maybe go ahead and answer that. Who do I pick on? I'll pick on Indy.
Yeah. So can this course be completed using a Mac or is a PC required? You do not need a PC. If you have a MacBook, you can do that because Unreal Engine, it supports Mac. It's just that it takes a little bit of time to load, but you know, for prototyping and for you know, for exploring the Unreal Engine to build something on top of it, you can use a Mac without any issues.
Perfect. And then will UX in gaming be considered in this course? Again, I'm going to have to let you answer.
Exactly. That is what I talked about as well. We have one separate module dedicated to talk about user experience in game design. There is something that we call game user experience. There's one module that we call game user experience where we talk about the feel, how, you know, not just the user interfaces. Of course, user interfaces are a part of it, but on top of that, you know, how to actually increase the experience, increase the feel of the game. So we talk about that. Mainly we explore elements such as game feel. There is a theory called 3C where we talk about characters, camera, and controls. We talk about animation, aesthetic, sound, feedback, and all of them together in our game user experience module.
Perfect. Sorry, I just muted for a second as I had another 3 fire trucks go by me. And then this is great. So I just touched on this a moment ago. I encouraged somebody, if they were interested in game development, to take a look at the other course. But what I didn't do is I didn't really answer this question. What is the difference between game design and game development? And how do you kind of know where you would be better fit, I guess? And Indy, you're still unmuted. I'll let you maybe do a quick definition or description to kind of break down the difference between those two roles.
Exactly. So I would say, you know, I wouldn't say that game designer and game developer are two different roles. Like, you know, one person can hold both roles together. Like, for example, people like the person who has made the game called Stardew Valley, right? He has done everything by his own, and he has done the development. He has done the design as well. So what is the difference between game development and game design? Let's just take Mario for an example, right? So in Mario, you like the level designer, the designer of Mario has created this small character, right? The environment. And let's just take the first level, right? For example, there is the character of Mario, and the character has the capability to move left and right. But if you go towards left, the camera doesn't move. But if you go towards right, then the camera starts moving. So that way, the player, like automatically, the player knows that Mario should travel or should go to the right side. So those are the decisions, right? Those are the design decisions that a game designer would take. So what does the game developer do? The game developer is the person who has actually put that Mario on the screen, you know, pressing these controllers, taken that input and used that input in a game engine to move that character towards left or right, right? So there are so much of concepts that we can learn when it comes to development. But design is far more important when it comes to the feel of the game, because anybody can develop games. Anybody can develop games. It's just that we need to be able to feel the game, right? A game needs to be felt like a game. So a game designer would use all of these theories that they've learned to help the game developer, or help themselves if they are the developers who are actually making the game, to build an amazing game.
Perfect. And then, yeah, you have touched on this, Indy, throughout the presentation, but maybe we can just kind of bring this back, since this was a question on the side. What skills would we be learning in the designing part? So maybe just touch again on some of the skills or the tools that you'd be using on the design side there.
Yeah, so when it comes to Unreal Engine, like let's take Unreal Engine as an example. So you learn Unreal Engine mainly to get to know how 2D games work, how 3D games work, how logic works, how we can use different logic to build an interactive element using an existing engine. So the learning objectives of prototyping with a game engine is to use that engine to create a very simple prototype of your design. Like, for example, let's just say you're working on a level for a 3D game, and you want this level to have certain elements that actually emphasize the feel of the game, emphasize the movement of the game. Like, for example, let's just say a level designer would add a door, and on top of the door, a level designer would add a small light, so the player would know that this is the door that the player should move towards, right? So those are like designing elements, right? And you don't really learn design by actually following somebody, right? You first actually learn the fundamentals of whys. You learn why we do this and why it's important to do those things, and you use that in our assignments, in our in-class challenges, to demonstrate your capabilities. So we allow you time to think out of the box, to design game in various different components, respectfully.
Perfect. Thank you. I feel like I'm going to have more for you here, Indy. I'm looking over these questions, and so many of them are going to be specific for you. But so, for which platform would this game design be, geared towards, like mobile game design, or maybe elaborate a little bit on where you can export to after you do this?
Yes. So, I started talking about Quidditch, right? Quidditch is not a game that's on mobile. It's not a game that's on, it's not a game even played anywhere. It's not even played anywhere at all, right? Nobody even plays Quidditch. Obviously, I think there used to be like quad ball, like a like a smaller version of Quidditch somewhere people have actually played, but it's an imaginary game. So you're not actually building a game for a platform, right? But you will learn design constraints, right? For an example, let's just say you're building a game for a PC, and as a game designer, you have the responsibility to port it to a mobile device. Now you need to understand, all right, so what is the difference between a controller and a screen of a mobile, right? So what are the controllers you have here? What are the controllers you have on a PC keyboard? And what are the controllers that you can use in mobile devices? So as a game designer, you would design, all right, so for the movement, I want the phone to rotate. That's how you move, right? Another game designer would say, I want this person to touch on the screen and swipe up to move upwards. So you are the ones who are designing it. You are the ones who are actually coming up with these ideas as game designers so that the developers will be able to design the game. Or if you want to develop, obviously you can do it as well, because you have designed you've already designed how the game, the controllers, the interaction should be done.
Perfect. If we have already taken your XR course, can we take that knowledge and apply it with our capstone project? I'm going to bring that up there. That's a good one.
That is something we are looking forward to. We don't want people to actually limit themselves to just what we teach. The idea of teaching fundamentals and giving some examples is for you to think out of the box, And we have workshops. So we are going to be having challenges, workshops, lab sessions once in a while. So if you need support in actually getting into a new tool, let's just say you want to learn a little bit of Unity while you're doing the design course, but it's not actually a part of the curriculum, but you have one-on-one instructors or in office hour sessions, they will help you out to learn everything from the ground up if you want, and they will mentor you to build your capstone project as well. So if you have already taken your XR course, definitely you know how Unity works, you know how to implement XR, and it's just a matter of using those fundamentals that you learn throughout the course and polish your game in a way that it feels natural, it feels like a game. And that's the idea of taking the game design course. And that is why you do that, right? That is like the interaction design. You look at, for example, you take an XR keyboard in XR, right? So you either use your hands or use your controllers, or maybe you can come up with a new idea, right? You're going to come up with a new idea, right? This is my design for a keyboard in XR, and this is how it works in my game, right? That is going to be your capstone project. And you can prototype it even in using Unreal or Unity, or maybe even a paper prototype just to explain your idea. The idea of a game designer, the role of a game designer is to design it and then express that to the other stakeholders. So we learned this in our career programs as well, to how to actually work in a team of game designers or in a team of game developers as a game designer.
Perfect. And I can add to that too. Again, I'm going to pick on Monday just because I used him as a reference previous in for the presentation here. But Monday is a great example of somebody. He's on the development side, but Monday took our 10-week XR course, and then he went into the full development bootcamp. And for his final capstone project, he incorporated education from both courses. And that's, you kind of see his game that he's created has an XR focus, whereas a lot of the other students don't necessarily have XR focuses coming out of the game development side. So it's definitely possible to combine the education from both of those courses. And it would be the same on the design side as well. I like this one. Do I need to play a lot of games to design a perfect game?
No, that's much better. Play games to make games, right? Obviously, yes, right? So I mean, you don't need to, right? You don't need to, but that's actually a plus thing, right? So like, for example, let's just say you're an artist, right? The more artwork you do, the better you become. The more references you take into your eyes, you go to different places to get references, and the more the more expressions that you can do. So just like that, the more games you play, the more ideas that comes into your mind to kind of change them, modify them in a way that it feels natural. So that's what you can do, definitely.
Fact. Yeah, it's almost like studying. I like playing games, so it's a really fun form of studying for me because I love video games. But this one, I feel like we've touched on components of this as well, but you already kind of said this, but just to reiterate, is it possible for a person to do both game development and game design at the same time? I would say it's a lot. If you were looking at creating a whole game, that's probably a pretty big undertaking. But we definitely have seen students take both design and development courses with us. Many people fall into one of two categories. Some people are developers all day long, and some people are designers all day long, and they'll never be interested in the other side of it. But then we do get a large base of our students coming through who do want to understand the other side of it, even if it's just topically. So some people will take the plus package for our 10-week courses, for example, focus on development, and then use their one-on-one time to learn a little bit more about the design process as well. Some people will take both full courses, but I'll let Indy actually formally answer whether or not you can do both at the same time here.
Yeah, people are built different, right? So, I mean, obviously, if you have the capability just to spend a lot of time with us, and we'd love to take you in, we'd love to help you out every time as much as you like. But of course, if you want to kind of be chill and keep things slow, I would recommend you take them separately, not at the same time. But if you decide to take both of them at the same time, you're going to be learning a lot of things. You're going to be learning design plus development, and there's going to be more instructors available for you to help out in both of those fields. But yeah, so if you feel like you can take the challenge, you can definitely do that.
And there's, I'll add to that as well. I find with a lot of the students, for a full game production, it usually ends up being a team more than it's ever an individual person. I mean, obviously, individuals can create very indie games quite quickly, with basic gameplay. But if you're looking at doing anything a little bit more intricate, it usually involves a team of developers and designers and artists kind of coming together versus one person looking to do it all. That's why I say if on that side, if you were looking to do it all, it would be a lot of work for you to kind of take on. More realistically, you'd probably connect with a network and kind of pull in different people with different skill sets and utilize those skill sets to come up with a final game concept.
Yeah, I'll actually add on to that. I mean, that's perfect that you mentioned that, Tyler, because, through any of our programs, whether it's the 10-week programs or the boot camps, our alums get lifetime access to our community channels as well, right? So, whether you're more interested on the development side or the design side, if you take one of our courses, then you get access to a huge number of, experts and students such as yourself who've gone through our programs. And we've seen it time and time again where, our alumni come together, like Tyler said, form a group, and then go about, kind of everyone takes a piece of the game and building their own games.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well done that one. Let's take a look here. We've got lots of questions coming through. This is good. There's also production design. Is there also production design, or is that part of the game design? Can you please elaborate on that part? Do you understand that one, Indy?
I would say production design is more about working on real-time simulations or visualizations, if I'm correct. If you mean by that, then obviously it's something different because, as I told, the components of games, right? We talk about challenges, interactions, rules, and things like that. So a game should be something that you have to interact with. So when it comes to production design, you're actually producing something that's simplex, that's one direction. It's not something that you actually interact with. So, but if you've decided to, if you kind of decided to merge both of them together and build something completely new, then obviously that's a new design, right? So you've thought out of the box. But production designer is not actually a part of a game designer. A game designer is the one actually who's designing the elements, designing the interactions of a game.
Perfect. And then this one simply just says, how do I become a game developer first? I mean, there's lots of ways you could start. We would obviously encourage you to take a look at the course offerings we have on game development. But if you were more interested on that side, that would be a really good start for you. You can also just do some initial research on your own. You can go on YouTube. You can kind of see the difference between designers and developers. You can kind of get some advice on where to start. But yeah, it's usually like I kind of explain it like somebody learning Photoshop. You can go on and start to kind of learn some of the components yourself, but it's a little bit easier to go through and kind of take a course and have somebody guide you through the core concepts of it so that you can expand on it from there. So that's what I'd say for game developer. Requirements to apply to become a game developer or a game designer. I'm assuming this means requirements from a game studio or from an organization or a company. I would imagine that they're quite different depending on the type of role that they're actually looking to hire. Some are more senior, some are more junior. A lot of the game studios that I work with, personally, actually connect with the studios and bring in some of our hiring partners. And a lot of them have early career opportunities. They have different types of postings and different types of opportunities. So it really depends. If you're applying for a senior game developer role or a senior game designer role, you're probably going to need a few years experience and a little bit more than just an initial course. But if you're applying for anything at a junior level or going in at kind of a base level, I would say the skill sets that you'd get from our courses should be more than sufficient for that. Maybe I'll let Indy explain a little bit more on that too, if you like.
Exactly. And as for the game design course, we work so hard to gather all the, we work so hard to gather the fundamentals of game design that you are supposed to learn throughout the course. We didn't want this to be another set of tutorials where you learn how to use a tool and how to add a cube, how to add a sphere, right? So if you are a designer, if you are an artist, if I give you a canvas or if I give you an iPad, the tool actually doesn't matter, right? So if you're an artist, you have the capability to draw on whatever the tool that you're given. So what we focus mainly on the fundamentals. Basically, those are the things that you would get questions in the interviews, entry level design jobs, because you don't have actually a big portfolio to demonstrate. But throughout this course, we are hoping to, like, per each module. So we were talking about 5 different modules. So per each module, we are hoping to give you an assignment where you can think out of the box and use it in your own way, build your own thing. And we are here to support you. So you're actually building your own portfolio while working with us in the course. And at the end of it, you're going to have a capstone project. You're going to be designing a game as your capstone project, and that is going to be your polished outcome of the bootcamp, which is obviously going to be a part of our pitch day, where industry partners can see what you are capable of, and they will reach out to you, and they have the capability to reach out to you to enroll you to their team. So speaking of the developer bootcamp, it's a little bit different. It's pretty much the same, but you're not actually designing. You're mainly developing. So we talk about programming fundamentals, a lot of technical components that a software developer, a software engineer should know. And on top of that, we teach game development as well. So game designer, game developer are 2 different things, but we mainly focus on principle-based learning approach. We are on a principle-based learning approach. We're teaching the fundamentals so that you can use whatever the tool that you prefer to design your game.
Perfect. And then there's another one. I can see one of our team members is actually actively answering this question right now, but the question is, do you require a college degree? If you have a portfolio and certifications, would that be enough to land a job in the industry? I can answer this one just because that's kind of the side that I work on, and the answer is absolutely. Like many other industries, there's a lot of different paths to kind of break your way into the industry, and one of the most recognized would be experience. So once you go through project-based learning and you go through a 6-month boot camp, that's how a lot of our students are moving into early careers and moving into initial jobs at studios. We've got many examples we can share. We just had our pitch day a couple of weeks ago for our development boot camp, and we have quite a few of those students who have contracts in hand right now for studios. So the short answer, I guess, is yes, you definitely would be applicable or able to take a look at early career jobs once you've taken a course like this. If you're looking, I'll just reiterate what I said before. If you're looking at anything at a senior level, that's where you're going to be, needing a couple years experience. But the goal is to kind of break into the industry, get into a position, and then grow and build and continue to educate yourself so that you are ready for a senior position in a year or 2 after you've started working in that industry. So let me see here. Oh, I completely lost where I was on the questions here. Is it fine not being a good storyteller, meaning not coming up with good stories or ideas for games? I think, Indy, you're answering that one right now, and I just stole it away from you and put it on the screen. Oh, you're muted, Indy, I think.
Oh, sorry about it. To be honest, I'm not a very good storyteller as well, right? So you don't really need to be good at something to actually to master it, right? How to master it is you keep on doing it, right? I haven't actually developed games before, but I wanted to get into this game development field, and I kept on doing it over and over and over and over again. So the idea of this bootcamp and the idea of giving you the opportunity to work on something and us being here with you to mentor and support you is mainly for you to work on your on your weaknesses that you want to build up. But having not being a fine good storyteller, it doesn't actually hinder the aspect of your game design. Like storytelling is just one pillar of game design, right? So game design is a lot of pillars. You can focus on what you love, and at the same time, if you want to build up your skills in storytelling, of course, we work on some of the fundamentals, and those fundamentals can definitely be useful for you to build your own narrations.
Perfect. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, this one's interesting. So does this mean that game development can also apply to creating a play system for a physical board game? It's a really interesting question. We just had on the development side, we just had one of our students basically recreate. It was a card game, but similar concept, I guess. But it was overlapping, I think, with the board game Settlers of Catan and a few other similar style games. But basically, they took the core concepts from several different board and card games and developed an actual game through that side that they would be doing. So on this side, it would be a little bit more on the design side. But if you're looking on either side, yes, you can absolutely apply the principles from a physical board game or a card game and bring them into this. And I think that might be it. Let me scroll down here and see if I've missed anything. I don't think I have. And I'm going to check the question or the chat tab as well, just to see if there's anything else that's come up there. Do we get a recording of this session? Yes, absolutely. We will send everybody who's registered will get an email recording of this session afterwards. We usually post all of our sessions on our YouTube channel as well. So you're welcome to go and check out CircuitStream YouTube. And yeah, Roham's already answered that in the chat. I didn't even see it. So that's it. I think that's it here for today. We've gone through quite a few good questions and got some good answers out there. But if anybody has any questions or if they require any further information, let us know. We can reach out to anybody immediately after the event. If you are looking to register for the upcoming cohorts, just let us know, and we can see how many slots we have left for the next cohorts, the next two that we have. Yeah, otherwise, thank you so much for joining us here today. We'll have another info session, I'm sure, on one of our courses in the next few weeks, so feel free to look out for those. But on behalf of myself, I'd like to say thank you. I'll let Indy say a quick thank you, and Ro as well here.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining and spending your time with us to learn the fundamentals, learn my very simple introduction to game design. And I hope you would be a part of it in the future to learn all the aspects, all the fundamentals of our game design course.
Perfect. Yeah, and I'll take the time to thank everyone for joining us today. It was a great session. It's always exciting when we have a new course and a new boot camp coming up. I just want to mention again, if you have any further questions or would like to discuss this program in more detail in a more one-on-one personalized format, please don't hesitate to reach out to us on the admissions team. We would love to have a chat with you guys to kind of see which one of the courses that we offer fits your needs the best. And yeah, we really take a personal approach to, what path we suggest for everyone. So please reach out, and we'll be happy to chat with you guys more, and hopefully we can get you all into the upcoming October cohort.
Absolutely. And I'll just mirror what's in the chat there. If we did miss any questions, it certainly wasn't intentional. We will be happy to answer afterwards. We can reach out to you and connect. Steve, please let us know. We'd be happy to connect with you and share more information there on your questions. So, but otherwise, thank you so much, everybody. We will look forward to the next live session, and we hope that you all have a great day.